spade, wog, jungle bunny, spear chucker's another one. The list is endless.
To me, it's always been, if it's directed at Ricky, it's directed at myself, because we are twins.
My friends think I'm a black and they think Daniel's white. I'm not white.
I'd say I'm coconut. You've got like the brown outer and then inside you've got this lovely white coconut, and that's how I can describe myself.
I truly believe that I think she is jealous of me because I'm the white-skinned one.
It's very rare, but in a handful of cases, twins from mixed-race relationships are born different colours. The difference may be large or small, but the impact can be enormous.
Lewis was born first, and he was born with a mop of black hair, like I expected, weren't he? And then when Curtis was born, and I went, he's white.
Blonde.
Blonde.
Never lost it, have you, lad?
Well, the boys were born in April with complications, so I ended up having a cesarean. Well, I saw Damien, and I thought, well, he looks fine. And I turned across and I saw Daniel, and I said to her, where's my other baby? And she said, that's your baby. I said, no, it can't be. So then my parents came in, and I remember saying to my mum, don't look, but I think Daniel's white. And if you don't say anything, no one's going to notice.
When Errol and Alison Kelly married in 1987, they each already had a set of twin boys from a previous relationship. He had Shane and Luke. She had Charlie and Jordan. Soon, a third set was on the way. But this time, there was a surprise.
It was March 1993, and I went off to the hospital. Long labour, long birth. First came James. Image of Daddy and Nanny. As soon as he was born, lovely, very nice. We had to wait a bit longer for Daniel.
There was a 2-hour gap, because Daniel went back up, he wouldn't come out, sort of thing. And then after his 2 hours, Daniel would come out, and he was like, his complexion was lighter.
We didn't sort of say a lot until we were transferred back to the ward, because they sort of stuck a little hat on his head for the temperature, etc. But when we got back, it was like, oh, let's have a look under that hat, let's see what he looks like. And he was unbelievable. I mean, poor old James, nobody was really looking. We was like, look at Daniel.
Everyone coming to the hospital just said, yeah, he's white, his hair was blonde, his blue eyes, you know. I didn't think nothing of it, really, because my wife's white.
Errol really loved it. I don't know why. I thought he did. It was something special. Because he was married to me, but all the children would take his colour. But then again, I mean, he loves me, whether I'm black or white, but he loves me. And then all of a sudden, he's got a child that looks like me.
My friends think I'm a black and they think Daniel's white. Yes, they do. No. Yes, they think I'm both. And you're not black. Think he's brown. They don't. They think I'm black and you're white. I'm not. Mummy's white, booby head. I'm not called booby head.
The last 3 years have probably been the worst 3 years of our life, in that we've hardly spoken to each other. There was an argument, and from that day on, it's completely put a wedge between us.
I don't like her. I don't like her for what she does. It's the way she screws me up. I don't like her at all. She scares me. She scares me to death because I don't know how to cope with it. I don't know how to answer her. I don't know how to act in her presence.
I don't love her at all. I don't even know if I like her anymore. In fact, I don't like her. It took a long time for the love to go, but I don't like her.
The twins had not been close for many years, but matters came to a head 3 years ago when Vanessa visited Vivian at her home in Chelmsford, Essex.
She was so abusive, not only abusive but racially abusive towards me, that it absolutely broke my heart.
Well, it shuts her up. It makes her cry. I mean, I'm not a vicious person, don't get me wrong, but it's the only thing that will shut her up once and for all when I call her certain names.
What names?
Black bitch.
It felt like she just punched me so hard in the stomach, and it winded me. It felt like that. And as it winded me, it just felt like she'd ripped part of my heart out. And that sounds so dramatic, but that is really what it felt like.
I feel in my heart of hearts that Vivian is jealous because I'm the white-skinned one and she isn't.
Train departure for Taunton from platform 4.
For the first time in 3 years, they've decided to meet to try to sort out their differences. They both believe it's the last chance for their relationship.
I'm just not prepared for it to go on any longer. And I feel it's up to me and Vanessa to break the cycle that's been going on for years and years. It's not just a matter of weeks or months, it's been years. And it's got to stop. And if it doesn't, if this tirade of abuse and whatever it is, misunderstanding, jealousy, whatever you want to call it, does not stop, then I will stop. I will have nothing to do with her.
Vanessa is travelling down from her home in South Wales. The twins have agreed to meet on neutral ground at Southend, a place where they went for day trips and holidays as children.
I'm ready to stand up and say, look, you know, enough is enough. These are my feelings, tough luck if you don't like it. And I will walk away. That is what I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to lose my family.
The twins were born in East London in 1957.
We were born into a family where my mother is brown skin like me, mixed race, and my father was white, although he was an absent parent, and my brother's my colour brown, and obviously Vanessa was white skinned.
I felt like an outcast in the family because I was the only white skinned one. My dad left when we were 2. And I felt a lot of my problems were related to the fact that I didn't have the identity. I couldn't relate to the white side of the family, which was my father.
Although the family did live with their great-aunt, who was white, Vanessa still felt isolated.
I can't say at this age I recognised she had a white skin. But there obviously would have come a point where I'd have realised. We always used to be put in the bath together, and we got the pumice stone, and I remember rubbing this pumice stone along my arm. I think it was Vanessa who actually said, oh, you know, if you rub that, would you look white underneath? And we were both looking to see what colour I was underneath my brown skin. And the only thing I can remember about that was my mother coming into the bathroom and finding us doing it and was extremely cross because I'd basically rubbed my skin raw.
Vivian remembers a close and happy childhood. Her sister's memories couldn't be more different.
Ever since I was small, I can remember being bullied, being hit in the stomach by my brother and sister. They used to get me in the corner of the bedroom and punch me in the stomach.
I'm not capable of bullying anybody.
Physically?
It's not... Physically? No way. No way on this earth.
They did. They used to get me in the corner of the bedroom and they used to hit shit out of me, for want of a better word.
Vivian and her brother completely deny the bullying.
You have rough and tumbles as children, don't you? You know, play fights. I can remember on my mum's bed, you know, having rough and tumble fights under the bedclothes and mucking about the 3 of us together. And, yeah, maybe a foot went in or, you know, an arm came across in the play fighting. But to actually consciously, physically hit her or kick out at her or punch her or bully her on a conscious level, no way.
I spent a lot of time hiding in the wardrobe. I think it was mainly to get away from the bullying. And I remember I'd watched the film Narnia, and they used to go back of the wardrobe, and it was like an escape into a different world. And I could hear them wondering where I was. And I felt, because I was like the outcast in the family, they didn't like it. Because I was the white one, they were beating up on this white child.
I can't deny my sister her feelings. Okay, I cannot, it's not for me to say her feelings are wrong. All I can say is that I'll accept her feelings, but some of the reality of those feelings are not true.
Sometimes we keep it a secret that we're twins because people ask too many questions about it. You basically say all the time, oh yeah, we're twins, and they go, no, you're not.
Because when you go somewhere like holiday and you don't know anyone, it's just, there's no need to tell them that you're twins.
No, but when you do tell them, they tend to not believe you, and then you have to go, yeah, we are twins, and then they go and ask someone else, don't they?
Yeah, they think they're kind of like pulling a trick on them, and they don't want to fall for it.
I was born and bred in Scotland, and I am a Scotsman. I love the country, I love the football team totally, but unfortunately some of my fellow Scotsmen rejected me. But if you look back in history, the Scottish do not like invaders. My mum came to Scotland when she was 3 years old, which was about 60 years ago. And at the time she was probably one of the only black people in Scotland.
It was during the Blitz. I was sent up here when the bombs and that were dropping to stay with my gran. I didn't really have much bother or anything because it was a small village that we stayed in. And, I mean, really the people were good in there. Like, I mean, I never had... I don't think I had much about racism or anything like that,
At the age of 22, Eileen married her childhood sweetheart. She went on to have 6 children.
We've got 2 sets of twins in our family. I'm in the youngest set of twins with Ricky. We've got Mandy and Debbie, who are 2 years older than us. And we've got Kerry and Tracy.
Ricky was the only child with dark skin.
When we were born, the doctor that delivered us suggested to me mother that she should keep the white child, Mark, because me other 4 sisters were all white, and of the black child, me adopted out.
He wasn't nasty or anything about it. I think he was looking at Ricky's side, sort of trying to be helpful, I
thought it was quite funny myself, how a doctor with a hypocritical oath, etc., can say to a woman that's just given birth to twins to have one of them adopted out because of the colour. I mean, it's just madness. It's just stupid.
Well, I just told him I couldn't, I mean, that was my son and that was it. I was keeping him.
My biological father abandoned us when we were all young. I mean, I wasn't even a few months old. And my stepfather now, who I class as my father, it's the only father I have known as a father figure, came along when I was 5 and married my mum with 6 children. He didn't just marry my mum, he married a black woman with different coloured children. I mean, and that says a lot for that man. That man is a hero.
For the first 8 years of their lives, the twins lived in a small village called Milton of Balgony.
It was a nice little place because it was quiet and everybody was dead friendly. And because my mother had lived there for the time she was adopted, everybody knew my mother, so everybody took to us and we never got no trouble at all.
That's the house that I used to live in over there, second from the end, number 4. I've got some really happy memories of this place. When I used to play here with my brother Mark, until the age of 8 years old, I didn't even know racism existed at all.
But within a year, their lives were to change dramatically.
Oh, there's coins. Dare you to go down and get one? I dare you to, Ricky. Nah. I bet you couldn't.
Thomas and Wesley Sharnock were first filmed for a television documentary 10 years ago when they were 6. At that time, they lived in Lee in Lancashire, a town not used to black people, and Thomas was soon singled out.
I took them to the park once, and some lads was calling Thomas a packy. And so he come and told me. So I went over and said to these lads, I believe you're calling this boy a packy. Yeah, well, he is, isn't he? He is. I said, well, I'm his dad. Yeah, but you're white. I said, yeah, I am, Anna. How'd you feather that one out then? Hey, got the brains, have you?
Tell me about when you got called names at school. What did they call you?
Blackie and chocolate blob. When we dog poo. And when we have a haircut, they called us baldy.
And what did you do, Wesley, when they called Thomas names?
Tell teacher.
But the young Wesley was not always helpful.
He's one of them that calls me names. I'm not. He is. I'm not.
I don't believe Wesley was joining in and bullying Thomas. I just feel that even though they're twins, people seem to think that twins are like that all the time. You know, they're stuck together at the hip. They're not. They're two entirely different. In my case, in the boys' case, in Thomas and Wesley's case, they're two entirely different people.
Is there one of you who's the boss between you?
He's the boss. I'm biggest. I'm an inch littler than him.
Are you?
Because he was born first. And he was made first. I weren't. You were, because you had the tooth out.
So why is he the boss? Just because he's bigger?
Because I was born first. Because he's a bully boy. I'm not.
Who's the boss?
No. No, they don't tell each other stuff to do. Well, he tries, but doesn't really.
Wesley. He thinks he's hard. He thinks he's the one in charge. Like when his friends come, flipping start acting tough, bossing me around and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Wesley. You do?
No, I'm not.
Wesley. But he doesn't do it as much now.
When the boys were 9 years old, their parents divorced. Their mother, Eve, took the twins to live in a multiracial area, Moss Side in Manchester. It changed Wesley's whole outlook.
When I lived in Lee, there was a lot of, mainly white people. When I finally moved around Moss Side, I got on well with people who were different colour, black, white, Asian, whatever.
What colour person do you want to marry?
White. White, not brown, white.
I wouldn't say that stuff now. And
what's changed you?
From then, living moving around as well and growing up with black kids, black people and different races. That's what's changed me since I was 6.
In the juniors, I used to get picked on a lot because we're different colours. They called me all sorts of names, like nigger and packy and all them sorts of names.
And then I used to stick up for her.
Well, Curtis is definitely white to me. Curtis is just... And Lewis is chocolate, I think.
Tawny, aren't you?
Chocolate, the colour I'd love to be, I think he is.
Chocolate.
What colour do you see yourself, Lewis? What colour are you?
Brown.
What colour are you, Curtis?
Yellow.
Yellow.
The Kelly family live in Eltham, South London, an area notorious since the murder of Stephen Lawrence.
You know... Oh!
It's meant to be very racist here, but we've had no problems at all time we've been here.
We're a really happy family, happy with all the different colours we are. We're just a box of Smarties, different colours all over, and we're happy with it.
The family say it's not racism which has caused them problems. They say it's political correctness. It began when the boys started nursery school 2 years ago.
My children have come home singing "Bar, bar, white sheep. Have you any cotton?" Well, I'm sorry, if you've ever been to a farm and you see a black sheep in the field, they're singing about the colour of the sheep. You can't tell me that a black person looks like a sheep.
The Kellys' first disagreement with the nursery happened over an incident with James.
One day, James went to nursery with a black eye, and I said, "Oh, he got hit with a toy, he's got a black eye. You mustn't say that." And I was like, "Well, he's got a black eye." "No, he's a bruised eye." So I came home and I said to Errol, "When you were a young boy and you had a fight," I said, "what happened to your eye?" And he said, "I got a black eye." I said, "So you didn't call it a bruised eye?" And he said, "No, it's a black eye." And I said, "Well, you know, it should be called a bruised eye." And he thinks it's ridiculous.
But it was the subject of Daniel's colour that caused a major conflict.
There was an annual meeting. The subject of mixed race was brought up. I can't even remember the exact words that were said, but they said something about mixed race, black mixed race. The children shouldn't be called mixed race, they should be called black mixed race. And Errol sort of piped up, "Well, not Daniel." And they said, "Oh yes, that includes Daniel." So after the meeting, I pulled the teacher to one side and I said, "You can't really be serious as saying Daniel's black. He's not black. You can call him mixed race." I said, "You can't tell him the colour of his skin is black, because he's not." And she said, "No, because his father is black, he is to be called black. But I'm his mother. I'm white. Doesn't he have equal rights to be called white?"
Well, all the teachers were there were sort of black or of mixed race, and it was getting onto a bit of a theme, like, you know, but I was happy to speak with them there and everything like that, you know, but they wanted to just sort of mix Daniel up a bit, and we weren't having none of it, you know.
As far as I'm concerned, I would say that James is mixed race, although he sees himself as black, and Daniel would be white.
But the nursery staff did not agree.
As he was colouring in some family photographs, they said to him, "You've got to colour yourself as black, because your dad's black." But we was having none of that at all.
In the end, Errol and Alison took Daniel away from the nursery, and the story made the national papers.
They called a big meeting, social services, a lot of people. And when Errol and I sat in the meeting together, they sort of agreed that, OK, Daniel could be white mixed race. And I said, fine. I didn't insist that it had to be white. He could be mixed race. But I insisted he wasn't to be told he was black.
It was never really resolved. Just sort of went back to school. It wasn't really resolved because we didn't get apology or nothing, really. A lot of people see Daniel as white. I don't think he really cares myself.
Yes.
I don't really care. You know what I mean? He's my boy and that's it.
Two weeks before the meeting with her twin sister, Vanessa sought solace from her local church.
I'm a Christian and I do repent of these things that I've done, that I've said to my sister. I feel strong in my faith that this can be resolved.
Her life has taken a different path from her twin sisters.
Although I'm the darker skin and maybe I, you know, in a racist way, maybe I shouldn't be successful as I am because I'm the darker skinned twin, which is racist in itself. It could be that I actually had the opportunities because I stayed on at school, you know, did my A-levels, went on to do training in youth work, etc., you know, got to university, got a good job. And if you like, I've made something of myself.
Vanessa left home at 16 to get married. After a series of troubled relationships, she is now a single parent with 4 children.
I feel sickened by the fact that I've had 4 children by 3 different fathers. All my life I've wanted to belong. I wanted to be part of a family. I was constantly looking for the love and the identity of the white race, so to speak. Vivian's life, I think, has been a lot easier than I have.
I was 33 before I got married. And I can remember on my wedding day, she cried. She reckoned she was so happy for me. She cried. Yet since that day, it's just gone downhill. It's almost like, because I'm married and because I've not got divorced within 5 years, it's almost like it's made it worse for Vanessa.
Vivian's husband, Andrew, is white.
Accepted into the family because of what...
So were the 3 men who fathered Vanessa's children.
My 4 children are very white-skinned, but there is a chance eventually that one may have a very dark-skinned child. Right, come on, you lot. I find it very hard to sit down and explain this to the children as they get older. I suppose it carries on down the generations.
Would you ever marry a black man?
No, I wouldn't. No, because it would start the ball all over again.
It's heart beating. And then you've got... So baby's head's on that side.
Vivian is expecting her first child in 8 weeks. She hopes to be reconciled with her sister before the birth.
I mean, I can see it on the screen,
Yeah, it's it moving there.
but I still can't... There's this unreality about it.
If the child is white, Vanessa believes it will help Vivian to understand how she felt as a child.
She's pregnant now, and I've actually said to her, you might have a white child, and yet she's turned around and said to me that she wants the child the same colour as her. But she couldn't give me an answer why. But I really feel that if she does have a white child, it'll bring it home to her and she'll realise how much I've been feeling. Looks people give, you know.
That's its arm. I see the bone in the top of its arm there.
Gosh, yeah, that is really clear, isn't it? It beggars belief that she can actually even think that way, let alone actually mouth it. What right has she or anybody else got to say what colour skin my baby should have when it's born? It doesn't matter.
Mixed race marriages causes problems because it isn't so much the couple that marry, it's the children of those marriages.
After the boys were first born, somebody had made a comment to me about them being different fathers, and I did comment back at that point that I can just about remember one being there. I think I remember there was 2 there. And they'd argue blind with me in shops that they're not twins, they're not mine. So in the end, I used to carry my birth certificates around and say, well, there you are. There's the proof. There's 2 certificates, there's 2 babies. They are definitely twins.
At the age of 8, Ricky Smith's idyllic childhood came to an end when the family moved to Glen Rothes, a new town on the outskirts of Edinburgh.
I had nightmares every day. Yeah, every day there was always something happening, especially when I was younger. From like the ages of 8 till about 17. I used to get loads of stick every day. I mean, from like everybody.
I remember one instance when we were at Woodside where it must have been building up and there was like a gang of boys on the corner and Ricky had to go out into this gang of boys and fight. And that was one of the earliest moments that I could recall, Ricky fighting back.
Mum used to always send us to the shop like any other kid. Go and get a pint of milk, go and get some bread. And there used to always be loads of people hanging about by the chip shop and that. I mean, they'd call you names, nigger, wog. I mean, and they'd even spit on you like proper spits, big greenies and that, you know. It's just not on, is it?
Well, society accepted Mark and excluded Ricky because Ricky was different. And this is what people were frightened of here. The differences scare people here. If you're different in any way, they were frightened. So they were frightened of Ricky. They didn't know how to cope with Ricky. I think most of the people, when we moved from Milton of Balgony up into Woodside, most people had only seen a coloured person on Starsky and Hutch.
This is a primary school we came to when we first moved to Glenrothes from the village.
Big culture shock that was. About 350 people or something coming for a school which had about 40 people in it. Was
I can remember
difference.
the first day here. The first day here was a total nightmare. I mean, when we first came here, the first day, I mean, we was just totally picked upon, weren't we? You know, it wasn't too bad for you because nobody knew that we were brothers or that. But the stick I got on this playground was unreal. And I think the teachers here knew what was going on, wasn't it? But they didn't want to know either. Teachers would always say, "You're disruptive, Smith, what's wrong with you?" I would say, "Well, he's calling me nigger." And he used to say, "Well, sticks and stones will break my bones." Say, "Yeah, but they're not calling you it, are they?"
If there was maybe 15 kids out there and we're going to play a game of football and we've got to pick sides, 2 people would pick sides, Ricky would probably be the last person to get picked. And that used to rile him up a bit.
I pick Dale. I pick Kale. I pick...
No matter what my ability was, you get like the fat kid that no one wants to pick. Well, I was the black kid that no one wants to pick. That used to get me down a bit as well, because no one would really want me on their team. My father stopped me having a real big chip on my shoulder about the abuse I was getting and being bitter towards white people. But like I said, half my family's white, so I couldn't really be bitter to them.
Although Ricky received the abuse, Mark would always stand by him.
Although we don't look alike, I think we've got the same feelings inside. So when Ricky was suffering things, I felt them as well. Because you were directly... If it's to me, it's always been if it's directed at Ricky, it's directed at myself. Because we are twins.
I don't think Mark's ever shied away from the fact that he has got coloured blood in him at all. I mean, because we've always been a tight family. We've always stuck together. And we've been twins as well. That's a twin thing, you know. If you're a twin, you're very close anyway.
The funny thing was, if they were walking to school together in the morning and somebody shouted a name, they both turned round.
I had a good friend. His name was Scott. And his father would never let me in the house. I couldn't, every time I went to his house, to say there was 2 or 3 friends with him, and his father was in. His other friends would go in the house with him, to say for a drink of orange squash or whatever. But I would always have to wait outside when his father was in, because his father did not like black people. That made me feel terrible. You think to yourself, well, what? Why me? And quite often I used to go home at night and go to bed, you know, and I would feel like the weight of the world was on my shoulders.
And he wasn't the same wee boy anymore, and as time went on, he got more on the defensive, more aggressive towards people, to the point he went from this trusting wee lad to not trusting anybody.
But the worst was still to come.
When people make racist remarks at me, I just ignore it because it doesn't really bother me.
And I hate it because it doesn't bother her. She doesn't do anything about it, and I think she should turn around and tell them, like, put them in their place.
I'm not going to turn around and have a go at them because I'll probably end up in like a massive argument and then I'll get even more upset. So it's just not worth the hassle.
You do cry though, like after they've called you. You go home and you have a little sulk about it.
Yeah, I get in a mood.
Why is it that all the fish in this canal swim on the sides?
Thomas and Wesley, now aged 16, have just left school and are looking for work.
In the future, I want to do well for myself. Because I'm black, I feel that people are not going to expecting me not to do as well as well as white. So I feel like I have to work harder.
Like everything else, it's going to be harder for Thomas because people do judge on face value. And a sad fact of life, when Thomas walks in a room or wherever he goes, the first thing they're going to see is skin.
Thomas hopes to become a journalist.
If it's any consolation, you can change.
He already writes a column in a local newspaper in which he reviews computer games.
Do you feel you have to try harder than Wesley?
Yeah, basically.
But Wesley has had his own dilemmas while looking for work.
Obviously, they've got to fill out application forms, and it's policy now to ask ethnic origin on application forms. And I saw one that Wesley had filled in, and he'd actually ticked that he was white.
The person who wanted to interview me, they wouldn't think I was mixed race or black, would they? So I just took white, because if I went in and I said mixed race, they'd expect darker skin, and they wouldn't expect light hair, blue eyes, would they?
I said to him, you know, really, OK, yeah, you look white, and it's not really an issue, but somewhere along the line, someone's going to find out, and really and truly, it's better to tell the truth at the outset. I think he knows that being black, I think he's internalised the fact that being black is a disadvantage in British white society, because it is, you know, so that's a fact.
Mum's told me now to stick mixed race because, well, I've got black in my family, and well, she just told me that anyway.
Wesley and Thomas I see as black, I do. Even though Wesley is white, in appearance, he looks like me, looks like my dad. He's tall and skinny and laid back.
To me, Wesley looks white.
Yeah, of course he does, yeah. But if you can pick out things about him that are not white.
Well, obviously I see Thomas with dark skin and Wesley with white skin.
He supports United. No, but I don't know. Yeah, you do.
It does come down to culture. And his culture is my culture, is his brother's culture, is our culture.
You wouldn't do no.
You know, if I was born, if my parents had been moved to Jamaica and I'd have been born in Jamaica, I'd have been white, but my culture would have been Jamaican.
When the kid's dad says that they're white, and he doesn't see a problem that the culture's white and they're white inside, it makes me very angry, because obviously, irrespective of what they look like, they've got black in them. You can't take the black out of them. You cannot tell mixed race children that the black part of them doesn't matter, because it's an important part. It's going to have a bearing on the rest of their life.
People always ask us why one twin's black and one twin's white, but I can't understand what all the fuss is about, because my mum's black and my dad's white, so there's nothing special about it, really.
I've always said that I thought that I was white, because everyone looks at me and they've seen blue eyes, blonde hair, white person. So I've always said, oh yeah, I'm white.
I would say that I was mixed race, sort of like everything, sort of, because you can't really just be one thing, can you? There's people who are like white. There's probably bits of like distantly bits of other
you
things.
You didn't say though that you'd say that you, if you had to go into a category, you'd say that you were kind of coloured.
Yeah.
Vanessa now lives in South Wales, more than 100 miles from her sister, but she took her problems with her.
Shortly after I moved in, my mother and sister visited me, and they were down for, I think, for a few weeks or so. And when they went back, my neighbour heard on the grapevine that that I was moving, the family, we were moving. And I said, well, what do you mean we're not moving? He said it'd come to his ears that that we were selling up to blacks.
There's some very sick people around.
And I mean, so really, until my mother and sister visited, nobody would have a clue.
No, really. I didn't realise you had a half caste.
But now that you know,
yeah.
It doesn't give you any different opinion of me.
No.
But then,
even now, I'm scared that people will know I'm mixed race and their attitudes will change towards me.
In what way?
They might not want to know me anymore, because that's the way of the world.
She offered to take me back to London, but
I think she does deny the colour in her. I suppose for a quiet life it would be easier for her and the children if she could pass herself off for white, period. But at the end of the day, she's part of a mixed race family, and there is absolutely no getting away from that.
I've never seen myself anything else other than white, even though I know there's mixed blood in me. I could never, ever class myself as anything else other than white.
Tomorrow she will confront Vivian with her true feelings for the first time. At the age of 20, Ricky Smith made a difficult decision.
I thought to myself, I got to get out of town.
Do
I
it.
need a new start, a fresh start, because I was in a rut.
As a child, he'd been called names. Now, the abuse was physical.
Ricky endured a lot of beatings because of the colour of his skin. And it would start off as wee gestures, nudging, pushing, prodding. And he would ignore it to the point where he just couldn't ignore it any longer.
I think I just bottled it up for so long that the cork finally popped out of the bottle when I got to like 17, 18. And when I said enough's enough. And I don't think I did myself any favours in those later teenage years.
He came in from, he'd went over to Markinch, and I took him to the hospital. He was in some mess at that time.
What happened?
Some boys in Markinch had given him a right beating. His head was like that, like, oh, God. So I took him to the hospital.
Ricky wouldn't come. There's only several occasions that Ricky's came to me and says, look, we've got a problem. We'll have to go and sort it out. A lot of the time he would stand up for himself and just battle through it himself.
Ricky was involved in so many fights, he became known to the local police.
At the end of the day, even if I beat the lad up and the police got involved, it was what did the fight start over? They'd say, well, he called me a nigger. And the police had said, so. I'd say, well, what do you mean, so? They didn't call you it. And this is what a lot of the trouble I got into when I was younger, was because people that would give me abuse, I just wouldn't take it towards the end, because it wound me up for so many years that at the end of it, I just lost my head.
I think once you get the reputation of being a hard man, I mean, it sticks, doesn't it? And there's always somebody trying to come along for to knock them down and say they beat them.
When Ricky left Scotland, his family mourned.
It was very heart-wrenching to leave the family. I mean, they weren't happy with me leaving. But, like, it was just something I had to do.
I think he felt if he doesn't get out here, something bad's going to happen. But he was so unhappy. He just wasn't happy anymore. And the best thing to do was to make a clean break for it.
He finally settled far away in North Wales.
The North Walian people have got a completely different attitude towards anybody of any nationality. Yeah, they're quite easygoing. The Welsh are a sound bunch.
I'm glad he went. In fact, I think he would have been in the jail if he hadn't. Because, I mean, he was always having to fight what she didn't want to do. But, I mean, he had to, so I'm glad he went. It was the best thing he could have done.
The day has finally arrived for Vivian and Vanessa to meet. Vivian is clear about what she wants from Vanessa.
I think she has to own me and own the rest of the family as hers. You know, she wasn't adopted, she wasn't fostered. She is very much part of this family. And I think she's got to stop being defensive, angry, accepting that maybe I had feelings once about what it was like to have a twin sister who was a different colour, but I've never actually made anything of it.
Hiya, Viv.
Hiya.
Been waiting long?
Not long now.
I'm shattered.
Get your breath back.
Killing me. You know, and it just didn't seem fair that the fact that even though our dad was white, he wasn't around. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, well, this isn't fair that I'm not the same.
Right. Okay.
In the same situation.
All right, as a child, I accept that, I can understand that, right? What I'm saying is, one, you never told me. You know, we were supposed to be so closeness.
No, you was closer to me than I was to you.
No, we were supposed to be doing everything together. You know, we went to Brownies together in the same patrol pack. We went to Girl Guides together. We used to go in the choir singing together. Yeah, I'm talking about all that.
Yeah, and it was a constant struggle because you was always.
But you never expressed that in it.
Vivian, I was a young child. I didn't know how to express it.
Why the hell then, in the same breath, do I have to put up with the fact that you wished I was white, you think I ought to be, you know, I would prefer to be white, you've said that, that I would feel, you know, it'd be better for me if I was white, okay? You wish that this baby I'm carrying is going to be white because then I would understand what it felt like for you to be white growing up. I don't know how you work that one out, Nessie, because I'm not going to be that white child, am I?
No, but you'll be the dark-skinned mother of a white child, and you will
but
see...
How am I going to understand you, though, in that?
Because you will see the looks. You will see how people look into the pram and look
so
and say...
Why have I got to have that experience?
Because you'll know exactly how I felt.
But why should I have to... Why do I have to know how you felt? I identify with white people because that is my culture. It's a culture thing, Nessie. It's culture. It's not just about skin colour, Ness. It's about culture. You weren't brought up in a black community.
No.
You were brought up in a white community. There were plenty of people, Nessie, you could have identified with.
Not the immediate family, Vivian.
No, not in the immediate family, but in the community as a whole.
It's the immediate family.
Oh, you're talking about skin colour.
No.
But
yeah, but you're constantly
everything
right.
I've tried. Yes, but that's not my fault, Nessie. I can't help it if things that I say and do turn out to be right. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that you feel that you're always wrong. And I'm sorry you're getting upset about it. I mean, on my baby's life, Vanessa.
That way all the time, Vivian. See, you're always right. You're always the one.
But you blame me for that. You blame me for that, and that's not fair. You blame me for that, and that's not fair.
Yeah, but when I try and do positive things right...
You've done lots of positive things right. The other thing you do, Vanessa, is you put me up on a pedestal, don't you?
30 minutes on, and anger has given way to regret.
Why should it happen, you know?
Because it's the reality of our lives, Nessie. We can blame my mum, we can blame my dad, we can say they should never have got together, we should say we should never have been born.
So, who's the boss out of you two?
Me.
James, why are you the boss?
Because I tell him what to do every time.
Don't you like being the boss as well, Dan?
No.
Why not?
Because I hate being a boss.
What do you like to be?
A nurse. A nurse.
The Kellys are confident about their son's future, free from racism.
None of the children have any problem with the colour they are. When they get older, they can choose whatever they want, and they will. But I don't think they'll choose something just because it's black or just because it's white. They'll choose things in life to do that they enjoy. I don't think they'll sort of rush over to Jamaica to say, where's my roots? Because they don't feel that they come from Jamaica, because they don't. They were born here.
Thomas Sharnock has won a place at journalism college.
Splashes. In 5 years' time, I think I'll be in university or some kind of education. And Wesley, I don't want to put him down, but he'll probably be on the dole.
Wesley is still looking for work. Ricky's problems are now behind him.
10 years later now that I'm nearly 30, or 30 now, I've just mellowed over it. But like I said, it's another decade later. I mean, so I think the whole racial thing has eased a lot more. I don't know about in Scotland, like.
Vanessa feels that her meeting with Vivian was successful.
I feel now, you know, we're 41, we both agreed that we don't want all this nastiness between us. We're determined that, you know, we're going to have more of a positive attitude.
But Vivian says, as far as she's concerned, it's still early days.